The Sky 2012 College Tour, presented by Spin Ultimate.
We're coming to you live on this quarterfinal matchup, Stanford Bloodthirsty versus Ohio. Ohio taking down North Carolina Wilmington, the host of this tournament, in pre-quarters. As Stanford puts a huck out to Ben Funk, he's running it down, and it works. One throw point as number 88, Shane Steinhardt Threlkeld, makes the throw as the disc is bricked off the pole. Stanford has 25 yards up, able to put that throw in front of Ben Funk as they now lead 4-2. We are now looking at this Ohio line. Nick Wetzel, who had a fantastic game yesterday. Mitch Sion, number 14, Mike Bruce, Connor Haley, Logan Kruger, Cody Pettit, and Eric Converse. This is Wetzel fielding the disc, pushing it up to Bruce in the center of the field. Stanford coming with a zone look. Here's Converse breaking inside to Bruce. He's got Wetzel, the lefty, on the left-hand sideline. Hammer to Sion. Stanford calling fire. Zone not really super effective with this wind dying down. Wetzel swinging it to Bruce in the center of the field. Pick is called. That zone look forcing Ohio to make a couple of risky decisions, which is what Stanford wants. They're not necessarily trying to get a D every single time. A D would be nice, but zones often just throw off the rhythm of the offense. Here's Converse on the right-hand sideline. Inside break to Kruger. Back to Converse. Big fake. Another inside break to Sion as the Ohio offense rolls. What was the upwind direction yesterday, the wind is not very prevalent so far today. Ohio's still down a break. Here's Jordan Jeffrey on the right-hand sideline with a number 23 jersey. High break to Ben Funk on the right-hand sideline. Funk completely unmarked, has all the time in the world to get something happening. Funk looking at Jeffrey. Finds the around to Kellen Assertion. Or Cercion, apologies if I'm butchering your name. Center handler, number 21. Jeffrey up to number 32, Jordan Marcy. Up to Kevin Dade. Here's Shane St. Putting it to space for Funk, and he's got him. Stanford holds to make this game 5-3. Big pull from Stanford. Looks like it's going to stay in bounds as Wetzel fields it. Pushing it upfield to Bruce. Stanford coming man this time. Here's Converse on the right-hand sideline. Up to Sion. Sion being marked by number 13 up to Haley. Number 13 is Chris O'Brien. Here's Converse now. Up to Sion, laying out too far for him. And the matchup upfield that's worth mentioning is Ben Funk versus Connor Haley. Haley absolutely tore it up against Tufts yesterday. And Ben Funk, possibly the most athletic player on Stanford, if not Jordan Jeffrey. Those two guys definitely running the show on this team on the offensive side of the disc. Funk playing both ways right now. Stanford checking the disc in. Swinging the disc to the center of the field. Miscommunication, there's a drop, giving Ohio a very short field to work with. They'll be able to tap it in on the line, and we'll see what kind of isolation they run. The red zone offenses of both Ohio and Tufts yesterday were not very consistent, especially coming out of a timeout where both teams were, I believe, 0 off timeouts. And here's Wetzel bringing the disc in, probably isolating Sion. Bruce trying to make something happen upfield, clearing out the break space for Connor Haley. Ben Funk calling a pick, but a great offensive set coming in that short field offense. What happened was Bruce was making something happen. It looked like he was trying to cut up line on the left-hand sideline. It was actually clearing space up for that high-release left-handed throw from Wetzel out to space. Connor Haley runs to it, and we see Funk calling that pick call. It's going to come back to Wetzel. Bruce is still out of the way as he's going to be upfield towards the center of the stack. Disc is probably being checked in around 4 or 5. Disc is checked in. Wetzel looking now at the foreside, looking for something to happen. Hammer to Scion works. Short hammer decision. It was either going to be that or a short dish to Bruce, who was coming around the backside of Wetzel, but that hammer works. Ohio holds, going in the direction opposite of the camera, which was the upwind direction yesterday. It is now 5-4. Stanford leads on Florida. Shane ST fielding it off the roll. Up to Tyler Boyd Meredith. Ohio employing a poachy zone. Looks like a rotational zone. Looks like a 3-3-1 where somewhat of a clam defense. Here's assertion to ST on the left-hand sideline. Back to Boyd Meredith. To Jordan Jeffrey. Ohio sideline counting out the throws. Looks like it's going to be a transition offense. Funk all the way upfield. Assertion wide open. And that's an easy score for Stanford. That was Jordan Marcy putting out into space for the speedy assertion. Assertion was on the scoreboard a bunch of times at Stanford Invite, especially against the strong teams of Pittsburgh, Texas, and Minnesota in those pool play games. The same offensive line coming out for Ohio has been able to get things done through both. For the two sets that we've seen Stanford throw on defense, their man defense and their zone look. Both teams trying to employ a zone in a tournament where you would expect to see a lot of zone, but the conditions are not really warranting it, as it's a beautiful day with only a slight breeze from left to right with your perspective. Here's Bruce in the center of the field. A little bit of a poachy look, a forced middle poach look, a forced sideline poach look. That is number 5. Brian Cheng getting the hand block on Eric Converse. And here's a chance for Stanford to break with a short field. And they're calling a set play that might isolate Cheng after one throw. Here's Boyd Meredith looking to dish to Jordan Jeffrey. Unable to get the space, calling foul with the tight mark. Ohio needs to take a step off there and not allow for that high stall look. The Ohio player, it looks like Logan Kruger, stating that he was not moving and that should not be a foul call. And looks like they're going to try to go to observers on this one. It's very hard to keep a complete stationary mark, but the observers will probably do so within reason. Try to rule that maybe he wasn't moving completely. Maybe his positioning wasn't. Was it they're ruling a foul call? Ruling a foul call. This should be coming in on 0. Looking for O'Brien in isolation. Looks like he's prepping that lefty backhand. He's got Jeffrey. Finds Funk finally in the center of the field. Stanford's offense breaking down, going back into a vertical stat set. Funk in a tight situation. Looks like he's putting it out to Jeffrey. Jeffrey making the left-handed grab. And that red zone offense not looking very good for Stanford, but they're patient. Funk having the disc in a high stall scenario. Stanford breaks 7-4. Here's Shane ST with the big pull. It's going to fly towards Wetzel. Wetzel with the disc now. Centering it to Bruce. Bruce up to Scion. Scion putting it out to space. He's got Haley. 50-50. Unable to make the grab. He would have been out of bounds anyway. But good defense by Michael Littman, forcing Haley to go up a little early, but he would have been out of bounds anyway, as that disc goes a little far. Here's Shane ST picking up the disc. Marked by Mark Kritz. ST getting trapped on that left sideline, looking to swing it off. High stall throw out to space. Haley's in chase. He's got Cody Mills. Haley making the nice D, preventing Cody Mills from making that grab. Cody Mills, number 3 on Stanford, who had a very strong game against Penn State earlier in pool play. Now on the field for this defensive line as Stanford is trying to break to make this an 8-4 half. But Ohio with some strong runs yesterday, some tenacity, against the number 2 seed Tufts in this tournament. Here's Converse in the center of the field. Wetzel in the center of the field, breaking to Scion. Scion looking for that strike. Finds Kruger upfield. Back to Scion on the backhand side. Backhand put out to space. Foul is called. Discus put out to space. He's got Wetzel. Wetzel making the grab. 7-5 goal. We thank the crew, Greg Vassar and his Easterns crew, for having skied here. And we've seen a lot of fantastic games. Every game that NextShed covered yesterday went to Universe Point. The 2 games that I got to watch to end the day with Tufts, both games that I watched with Tufts, I think all 3 of Tufts' games went to Universe Point. And Tufts definitely, Jack Hatchett joking that Tufts is the most dramatic team in Ultimate to watch. As Bruce gets set to pull, flat backhand that goes a little high. It's becoming more outside in, trailing towards the right-hand sideline from our perspective. Lands short of the end zone. And backhand force of Boyd Meredith from Bruce. Boyd Meredith up to Ben Funk. Ben Funk putting it to space. He's got assertion. Too far for him. Defense from number 55 on Ohio, Alex Doxa, as Bruce and what looks like a majority of the Ohio offensive line, Doxa being the only defensive mainstay, it seems, unless that's Mark Hurts on the left-hand sideline. It might be Logan Kruger. We'll see when he turns around. But here's Bruce up to Haley. Funk almost taking a step off and getting that D. Haley marked by Jordan Jeffrey. And there's a call. Jeffrey calling a stutter step, kind of like a crow hop kind of throw from Connor Haley. And we see Ben Funk marking up against Eric Converse, another explosive player. And Assertion marking up against Nick Wetzel. I think all of these matchups are very strong for Stanford. Here's Converse in the right-hand sideline. Bruce cutting up line. Converse finds him. Bruce marked by the Stanford center handler, Boyd Meredith. Hammer out to space for Wetzel, makes the grab. Wetzel's been playing absolutely fantastic for Ohio. High throw to space for Converse, who makes a nice grab. And here's Connor Haley. Connor Haley putting out to space. He's got Scion if he could stay in bounds. And it's ruled in. Scion making the grab. And that's 7-6 Ohio breaking. And Ohio showing that they're a team that can make some serious runs. They were up 4-2 yesterday against Tufts, and then 13-11 against Tufts before Tufts brought it to 14-13 for the win. And Stanford possibly taking their foot off the gas a little bit, or it's either that or Ohio really bringing the hammer on defense last point. It's 7-6. If Stanford can hold here and stop the bleeding, this would be an 8-6 Stanford lead going into half, and they'd be up 1 break still. So nothing to really worry about for Stanford as they're able to get their offensive line. It looks like they're calling a timeout, going to refocus and reassess and come back out and get things done. Here coming out for Stanford, we have Kevin Dade, Marcy, Assertion, Jeffrey, Boyd Meredith, ST, and Ben Funk. That's Shane ST. ST up to Marcy. That's Jordan Marcy. Here's Shane ST again. Break side to Jordan Jeffrey. Jeffrey putting out the space. He's got Funk. Funk versus Converse. Funk has steps. And ruled not in by the observer. Funk dumping it to Assertion on the forehand side. Inside break to Shane ST as Stanford takes half 8-6. And that nice break throw to Jordan Jeffrey leading to that big huck to Ben Funk where Converse was a little out of position. Stanford takes lead, takes half, up by 1 break, 8-6. A quick plug. Nick Wetzel was just rewarded his break mark playmaker shorts for his fantastic grab yesterday against Tufts. There was a deep throw to Connor Haley. Wetzel kind of went for it anyway and skied his defender, skied Haley, and skied Haley's defender. A fantastic play to keep Ohio in the game. A fantastic grab indeed. It is now 8-6 Stanford. Stanford getting set to pull. They are up 1 break. They received to start the game. We're at 1 point up 2 breaks. Ohio able to get one of them back. Ohio, a streaky team that's able to get a slew of breaks when they need to. Some scores around that we've seen. Pittsburgh was up 9-3 last I heard against North Carolina. And Illinois had just broke to make the score 7-5 in their favor against Tufts, which would be a massive upset and would look fantastic for the Great Lakes region. A big pull by Jordan Jeffrey as Converse fields it. Centers it to Bruce in the center of the field. Back to Converse. He's got Haley shrieking to the left-hand sideline. Scion trying to create space. Disc going out to Scion. He's got steps, makes the grab. And Ohio holds to start the half. Cody Mills with a nice bid for Stanford, trying to stop the throw to Scion. A little slow to get up, but he looks like he's going to be okay. And the Ohio pull out of bounds, allowing Stanford to set up their offense at the brick mark. They're coming out with a side stack. And as Chuck Cleary, our cameraman, pointed out, we should expect to see Ohio forcing Stanford into the stack, and that's exactly what they do. Jordan Jeffrey isolated. A nice break throw out to space. And Jeffrey looking for that big huck. Finds the under to Assertion. Assertion dumping to Jeffrey out to Funk to the right-hand sideline. Dumping it to Boyd Meredith. Nice around throw to space for Assertion. Inside break to Jeffrey. And Funk is isolated in the stack. He's looking for Boyd Meredith right now. Dumping it to Shane ST. Inside break to Kellen. Assertion for the gold. An easy Stanford hold as they bring it to 9-7. And that is absolutely true. That inside break backhand from Boyd Meredith out to space for Jeffrey is what kickstarted that offense. And that's why you have a guy like Boyd Meredith in the center and a guy like Jeffrey out in the lane. Here's Bruce in the center of the field. Around break to Connor Haley. Haley inside to Kruger. Kruger being marked by Cody Mills. He's got Scion deep, decides to look him off in favor of a dump look. Bailout throw upfield to Haley. Works out. Scion trying to create some space. Here's Converse in the center of the field. Scion getting shut down right now. The throw up to Kruger in the center of the field. Out to space for Haley. He's got steps. And Haley making the grab. And that's a 9-8 Ohio hold. And that throw to space, Haley wasn't really moving, but that throw to space was a very club-style throw, leading his receiver before the receiver even made the move. And that was the sort of throw that most of the defenders were out of position. We had number 13, Chris O'Brien, almost able to come down and make the play, but Connor Haley attacking it first and making the grab. Again, if you can check the Illinois Twitter, the Tufts Twitter, the Central Florida Twitter for any of or the Pittsburgh Twitter for any of these scores, you could tweet it at me at @Skyd_Zach Smith. That's SKYD_Zach Smith. And let me know the scores of those games. And I'll share that with the rest of the viewing audience. Jeffrey out to space for Assertion. Getting up big, number 57 for Ohio. He let Assertion have the inside space. It almost backfired if Assertion got up a little higher. That third of space from Jeffrey, trying to use the speed of Assertion instead of the height. Unfortunately, he floats a little much. Mark Hritz walking the disc up. To our right, you see Brett Matsuka, who is the center handler for Ring of Fire, is observing this game. Throw out to space. Ben Funk getting an absolutely athletic D for Stanford. And ruled no foul, no strip. A great call by the Ohio guy to take that back. Assertion in isolation, trying to create space. Inside break, laying out for the grab. Boyd Meredith relying on the speed and athleticism of Assertion. And Ben Funk, the absolute hero of that point, laying out for that monster D. Getting that back for the Stanford O-line, not letting Ohio break them. And we have, from left to right, Lippman, Dade, Mills, Blake, number 69, Bodia, number 5, Brian Chang, and Jordan Jeffrey. Jeffrey's pull is high. Wetzel fielding it out to Bruce towards the middle of the field. Stanford coming zone. This is a 1-3-2-1, kind of like a Christmas tree style of zone. And Scion putting it out to space. He's got a receiver, but Jeffrey's there. Unable to make the grab is number 41, Cody Pettit. An interesting choice by Scion, floating that disc, allowing Jeffrey to get under it what would have been an easy grab if it was thrown out to space, but it was a very hard throw through that wall, I should say. Here's Jeffrey to Blake. Slipping as he throws it. Sion able to get there, make the grab, and then scores, throwing it to Converse. And unfortunately, Blake going for that kind of like pick and roll style move where he gets the dish around, opening up that break side, slips a little bit as he tries to throw, causing that to pop up on Cody Mills, who's trying to make the grab. Sion's there, makes the D, throws the easy dish to Converse, and Ohio holds. Not exactly what the coach was looking for, but it works for Ohio. Again, we thank you for tuning in for this early quarterfinals matchup. It's noon right now on the East Coast, but we thank you for tuning in. This tournament, College Eastern's 2012 quarterfinals matchup between Ohio Bobcats and Stanford Bloodthirsty. My name is Zach Smith of Skyd Magazine, and I'm here with Chuck Cleary of Charlie Foxtrot Films. He's helping us out filming all weekend long, and he's filmed with Tim Morrill of Morrill Performance. This tournament, part of Skyd's 2012 College Tour, presented by Spin Ultimate. We will be on the lookout for this tournament's red jersey winner, awarded to the tournament MVP. At Centex, it was Dylan Freechild. At Stanford, it was Aaron Hahn, both of Oregon, but there's no Oregon here this weekend. And it looks like right now Pittsburgh player Alex Thorne would be the early front runner, but we'll see what happens. Shane ST fielding it, pushing it to the middle to Tyler Boyd Meredith. Ohio coming with a poachy zone look. Jordan Jeffrey on the right-hand sideline. Funk clearing out to make space on the left-hand sideline. Shane ST to Boyd Meredith. So the nice break throws. It seems to be a rotating handler look and then man defense in the back, or a poaching defense. Funk with the disc on the left-hand sideline. Dumping it back to Boyd Meredith. Funk such a threat on that second level. As the dump throw goes up to Jeffrey on the right-hand sideline. Hammer to wide open number 2. That was Gus Wellen. Back to Jeffrey on the right-hand sideline. Out to space for Boyd Meredith. And making the grab. And that is a 11-9. Stanford lead. Stanford holding on to that one-break lead. And having absolutely no trouble holding on offense, especially through that poaching look. Stanford playing very chill, very relaxed, even despite their turnover from 2009 when they had such a powerful roster with Nick Schlag and Tom James. They show in 2011 that they could play a very consistent style of offense, and right now with the loss of a few more players, Stanford's showing they still have the athleticism, still have guys like Ben Funk and Jordan Jeffrey who can get the job done. Before, when I was talking about how Stanford was so consistent last year, was definitely Ryan Thompson, who is now the coach of Georgetown. Ryan Thompson, who plays for Southpaw, absolutely anchored that offensive line. And the style of play has switched from that consistent vertical stack that just punished opponents when they gave horizontal stack when they punished opponents who gave the disc to them. That this offense is now a lot more athletic looking. Ohio trying to navigate through this Stanford zone look. Wetzel dumping it to Bruce in the center of the field. And this seems like a man defense behind what was a transition zone look. It's now a full man look now. Connor Haley with the disc on the left-hand sideline, looking off Sion underneath. Trying to dump it to Bruce. Throw gets off to Bruce in the center of the field. Putting it out to space. He's got Sion. Sion has steps. If he's able to run to it, makes the one-handed grab. A very difficult grab. Left-handed one-handed grab. Ohio holds. It's 11-10. They're staying in this. And it seems like the offenses are really holding on to it. The next round, the semifinals round, will be starting at 1:30. These rounds have been 2 hours long. Greg Vassar with UNCW has done a great job allotting time for teams to travel between the two field sites. Unfortunately, due to the weather, the semifinals were originally going to be staggered, allowing Next Gen to show both semis. But due to the fact that pre-quarters had to be this morning, Only one semifinal will be shown on Next Gen, but don't you worry. We will be streaming the other semifinal and taking some video. Again, Chuck Cleary giving us some video coverage. As the throw from Boyd Meredith that looks too low for assertion, Ohio is calling it down. From my perspective, it looked down, but assertion's back was towards me. I definitely do not have the best perspective. But the observers, Brett Matsuka descending, letting him know that it is down. Ohio with a short field and the chance to break. This is a majority of Ohio's offensive line playing both ways right now. Mark Bruce with the disc right now. Out to space for Wetzel. Wetzel out to Scion, just outside the end zone, probably 5 to 10 yards out. Breaking to Wetzel, swinging it to Bruce. Bruce looking for that inside. Finds Haley, just outside the end zone. Inside to Scion. And there may be a pick call. Scion getting wide open on Funk. And he was way too open on a guy like Ben Funk for it not to be somewhat of a pick call. Here's Connor Haley on the left-hand sideline, calling timeout. So I would not be surprised to see a guy like Wetzel or a guy like Bruce trying to break free and get open from him. We do have Wetzel lined up in the center of the field. On the far right-hand side, we do see Eric Converse. Any one of those guys could be an option with the bailout being Scion up field. And Bruce is also the front of the stack. So we do have 3 handlers in prime position, but it does look like Scion's isolated. And there we are. Scion is the first look. The disc gets up to Wetzel. Wetzel sneaking that throw around Jordan Jeffrey to Connor Haley. And Ohio breaks to make this an 11-11 game. We are back on serve. It's 11-11. This game is back on serve. And we have a battle here. Ohio seems to be able to be in a battle with all these top teams every single time. And if they're able to get a second bid for their region, if they're able to go to nationals, I think they're going to be able to hang with these teams. The Wetzel pull is high and hanging. Boyd Meredith fielding it out to Shane St. on the right-hand sideline. Up to assertion. Back to Boyd Meredith. Stanford really using the full width of the field as that nice break throw. Flick around to Jeffrey. Now inside to Funk. Funk back to Boyd Meredith in the middle of the field. Up to Shane St., but a big layout D by Ohio. It looks like Mark Hritz. It's either Mark Hritz or Logan Kruger. I apologize. When he turns his back, I'll see if he's number 15 or number 16. Number 15, that's Logan Kruger with an amazing layout D, giving Ohio the chance to break to take the lead. Here's Bruce up to Connor Haley on the left-hand sideline. Short field, Haley putting it out to space. It's floating. It's Scion unable to get to position. Shane St. making the D. And an unfortunate decision by Connor Haley, the wrong decision. It was obviously not executed well, but I don't think it was a very good decision. Shane St. swinging it around to Boyd Meredith, who loves those break throws. Back to Shane St. on the left-hand sideline. Marked by Hritz. Out to Boyd Meredith. Boyd Meredith put it out to space. He's got Jordan Jeffrey if he can lead him far enough. Too far for him. And Ohio with their second chance to break, and this Ohio offensive line playing virtually both ways. We have Wetzel, Scion, Haley, Bruce, Kruger playing this point right now, and Converse. Shane St. not far enough to make that bid. Dishing back to Wetzel, around to Converse, looking for that inside flick. Unable to get it past Shane St. Throw out to space for Wetzel. Wetzel putting the backhand to space. Great break decision. Haley laying out for the grab. A fantastic grab for the 12-11 break. And what a decision by Wetzel. Instead of leading him down the line for the same third huck, breaks inside out to space, and an incredible grab by Connor Haley. And that was a huge athletic bid. Right in front of us, we get it on camera. And Connor Haley, the hero, as Ohio breaks to make it 12-11. Mark Hritz, who was just on last point, a great defensive player. Andrew Baumgartner, number 44, Luke Eastman, number 5, Andy Ball, and number 13, Jimmy Heron. Mark Hritz's pull is far, lying flat. Boyd Meredith able to make the reception. Vertical stack for Stanford here. Splitting into kind of a split stack, trying to spread out their offense. It looks like Ohio came zone, so they actually moved to a zone look. Shane St. Now here's Jordan Jeffries with the disc. Hammer attempt to number 32 received by Jordan Marcy. Marcy out to Kevin Dade, number 8. He's got Funk in space. Funk able to make the highly contested grab. A great bid by Alex Doxa. And Stanford able to hold. Ben Funk's pull is high. Gravitating towards the center of the field. Stanford's defense able to catch up and set up quickly. Eric Converse picking up the disc. He's marked right away. And Stanford running a force middle style of defense, poaching those lanes. And Ohio doing the smart thing, tiring out those handler defenders by swinging it back and forth. Mark Bruce with the disc right now, marked by number 5, Brian Cheng. Converse getting his mark to over pursue, but Cheng occupying that lane. Bruce losing patience, putting it out for Scion. He doesn't have he gets position, reads it better, makes the play, and Ohio holds 13-12 and a really big hold. Not the greatest decision, I think, by Bruce, who just seems to lose patience, but Scion is the smarter player, reads it better. Ohio holding to make this 13-12, excuse me. And we welcome you again to this quarterfinals matchup between the Ohio Bobcats and Stanford Bloodthirsty. Bobcats breaking twice in this half to bring this game back on serve and then take the lead. Mark Hertz's pull looks like it's going to stay in. Shane S.T. fielding it, pushing to the center to Boyd Meredith. And Ohio coming zone again, making Stanford throw more throws, trying to force a lapse in judgment. And a big scoober, a really high scoober, gaining some yards from Jordan Jeffrey to Shane S.T. The disc gets swung all the way back to Jordan Jeffrey. Ohio sticking in their zone look. It's kind of like Poachy with a man behind it. And we see Jordan Marcy is open deep. That's his favorite target. That's Jordan Jeffrey's favorite target with that hammer. Shane S.T. now with the disc. Back to Boyd Meredith. Around to Jordan Jeffrey. Ben Funk trying to create space. Nice break to Shane S.T. all the way to assertion on the right-hand sideline. Back to Shane S.T. Up to Ben Funk. And Stanford's offense plays very consistently there for the 13-13 goal. Ohio trying to change the tempo for Stanford and trying to force a throwaway or a lapse of judgment, allowing Ohio to break and get some separation. That doesn't happen as Stanford plays calm. And they're out on defense right now. Ben Funk, Jordan Jeffrey staying on the field. And these guys are absolute athletes, able to stay on and play a bunch of points. Mark Bruce catching the pull. High break to Scion. And Jeffrey kind of backing his guy. He's on Connor Haley. I like that matchup. I also like Ben Funk on Mitch Scion, number 12 upfield. Converse with the disc right now, getting it to Bruce in the center of the field. And Stanford sticking with that poaching the lane defense. Here's Wetzel. Inside, back to Bruce, up to Scion. Here's Wetzel again. Upfield to Scion. Pardon me, that was Connor Haley before. Here's Connor Haley now. Leading him out to space. A great throw to Scion. And Connor Haley is having a great game. It's 14-13 Ohio. And from what we know, there has been no cap. And a fantastic throw by Connor Haley to lead Scion to space. Ohio doing fantastic, playing toughs close. They're leading Stanford right now. And here you see Nick Wetzel going both ways, trying to make something happen if Stanford turns it over. And we see some man defense as Jordan Jeffrey puts it out to space. A little miscommunication with Dade. Dade making the play over Wetzel. Trying to hit Funk. High stall count scenario finds Shane S.T. Out to Dade. Up to Boyd Meredith. And Stanford holding to make it 13-13. Or 14-14, excuse me. And what I saw there was Dade made an early move in the lane. That's Kevin Dade made an early move in the lane. And Jordan Jeffrey put it out to space. Dade looked like he was actually going to come back under. But Jordan Jeffrey floats it out in front of him enough, and he's able to get far enough away from Wetzel, who tries to make a play on it. But Dade going up early on the shorter Wetzel, making the play. The dump swing as Stanford stays calm near the end zone line, making the play. It's 14-14. All right, right now it is overtime rules. It is 14-14. They were probably discussing about how many timeouts they would have in overtime. Typically, you get overtime play. You get one timeout for each team. It is 14-14. The teams will play to win by 2 with the score capped at 17. And that's going to hold no matter what cap situation we have, as soft cap will probably go off in 2 minutes at 12:30. But one team at the end of this point will have 15, and the score will be capped at 17, where the only chance of this game not going to 17 is either one team wins 16-14 or hard cap comes on if it's 15-15. Ben Funk getting set to pull. Funk and Jeffrey still on the field. Funk's pull is high. Looks like it's going to gravitate towards the right-hand sideline. Right into the hands of Nick Wetzel. Stanford's defense getting down quick, but Funk's slow to get down after the pull as Sion gets open. And here's Connor Haley. Looking for Wetzel up line. Nice throw to space to Wetzel. Good decision not to put that in front of Sion with Ben Funk right there. Back to Connor Haley. Around to Converse. Trying to the inside break to Sion's looked off. And if I was Ohio, I would try to work it without Sion, as Sion's being marked by Ben Funk. Number 41 being marked by Jeffrey, gives it back. Number 41 is Cody Pettit. Here's Wetzel. Wetzel looking for Bruce. Out to Converse. Converse looking off that around break to Connor Haley. Inside to Sion. Sion looking for that break to Kruger, doesn't have it. Instead leading, Connor Haley out to space. Ohio holding. 15-14 again. We're talking about Connor Haley and his very athletic, explosive play. Getting out to space. And Ohio holding. We welcome you to this quarterfinals matchup, the Ohio Bobcats versus Stanford Bloodthirsty. Ohio up 15-14 in College Eastern's 2012 quarterfinal. My name is Zach Smith. A big bid by Ohio defender doesn't work out. Broken play, Stanford hucking it. He's got Ben Funk. It could be too far. Funk doesn't bid. Would have been a goal. Ohio with the chance to break for the win. But this Ohio defensive line, Ohio not going for the kill, putting their strong players out. I still think that's a smart move. Seating your guys, letting them play offensive points exclusively. While you may not break here, at least you don't get broken when you're back on offense at 15-15. Here's number 44, Luke Eastman with the disc. High break. Kellen Asertian trying to bid there on Mark Hritz. Doesn't happen. Mark Hritz with the disc right now. Up line to Luke Eastman. A fantastic layout grab past Ben Funk. Eastman, inside break to Andy Ball. Andy Ball putting the shot out to space. This would be it. He's got a receiver. And Ohio upsets Stanford. Oh, he's ruled out of bounds by the observer. Alex Doxa ruled out of bounds. Stanford dodging that bullet. A great throw to space by Andy Ball. Unfortunate for Ohio, who looked like they were going to be able to upset the number 4 Stanford Bloodthirsty. Again, this is Sky's 2012 College Tour presented by Spin Ultimate. My name is Zach Smith. I'm here with Chuck Cleary. Throw out to space for Ben Funk. He's got Kellen Asertian deep, looks him off. Kellen coming underneath, and Funk calls a foul. We have a stoppage. And Stanford coming out. Switching batteries. Throw to space for Kevin Dade. Low throw to Asertian. He's able to make it. Shane S.T. is poached. Instead dumping it to Boyd Meredith in the center of the field. Tight dump defense by Andy Ball. Out to Jordan Jeffrey. A pick is called. Number 26 on Ohio is Travis Neal. He's marking up against the athletic Ben Funk. Here's Jordan Jeffrey with the disc. And you would expect Stanford to grind here. You don't really expect them to force anything. Oh, a throw out to space. A great decision by Jordan Jeffrey to Ben Funk. And just as I'm saying that, that was a great outside in flick to space. And a solid decision by Jordan Jeffrey. And while they would typically grind there, I don't feel bad being wrong in this instance because that was a great IO put to space, OI put to space by Jeffrey to Funk, really leading his receiver. And this is 15-15, and this will most likely be a game to 17 now as it's still win by 2 unless this point takes 12 minutes and we get hard capped. And we're back for this matchup. 15-15 here. Ben Funk getting set to pull. Ohio choosing to sit their offensive studs last point so they wouldn't be tired for this offensive point. It worked out to be a good decision despite the Andy Ball huck going too far for Alex Doxa. And here's Connor Haley, who's been dominating the second half getting the throw upfield from Nick Wetzel, number 22. Connor Haley making that fantastic grab to break for the 12-11 Ohio lead. Throw to Eric Converse on the left-hand sideline, just at the brick mark. Inside to Sion, Mitch Sion of Mad Cow. Around to Wetzel. Ooh, Wetzel holstering that shot to Connor Haley. Ohio trying to grind here. Nice dump swing to Connor Haley through Mike Bruce. Up to Sion. Sion being marked by number 3, Cody Mills. And here's Bruce. Ohio doing a very good job of staying on that break sideline. They have Wetzel in the center of the field now. Out to Converse on the 4 sideline, the left-hand sideline. We have number 41, Pettit creating space on that sideline. Sion out to space. Too far for Wetzel. And Stanford with a chance to break to make it 16-15. An unfortunate decision. Sion leading his receiver to space. Not enough float there. And Ohio is going to have to come up with some defense here. Stanford known for their ability to grind out and take advantage of these opportunities. It looks like Jeffrey's about to take a timeout. And that would have actually been a hold for Ohio. Excuse me. Jordan Jeffries throw a little low, but Boyd Meredith able to make the grab. Meredith inside to Funk. Dishing it to Jeffrey. Jeffrey with that big backhand fake, holstering it. Around to Boyd Meredith. Stanford looking to use that break side. Boyd Meredith has the breaks to do it. Jordan Jeffrey. Upfield to number 13, O'Brien. To Jordan Jeffrey. Out to space for Cody Mills. Cody Mills marked by Sion. Mills, who was instrumental in the win against Penn State for Stanford. Jordan Jeffrey taking the center handler position in this vert sack, using Boyd Meredith on the break side where he's most effective. But Jeffrey being able to get constantly open. O'Brien up to Jordan Jeffrey past the bidding Wetzel. Fantastic build. Jeffrey out to space. He's got a man able to make the grab. Stanford breaking. 16-15. Stanford getting this game back on serve. Not Mitch Sion, as he was stretching. That was Connor Haley in the number 6 spot, number 12, with his hands on his knees. That is Mitch Sion, and all the way on the right is Eric Converse. This game proving to be incredibly exciting, as I feel very good that myself and Chuck picked another great game to watch. We seem to be very good at that so far. The pull is deep. Bruce catches it as it almost goes out of bounds. Up to Wetzel, still in his own end zone on the left-hand sideline. Back to Bruce. This poaching defense from Stanford still prevalent. Converse breaking inside to Connor Haley. Haley marked by Kevin Dade, calling an early stall count foul. And what Stanford's doing is when the disc gets in the center, they're poaching those lanes. And they've come away from that now. As the disc goes up to Hurts, up to Wetzel on the left-hand sideline, about the Ohio brick mark. Here's Bruce in the center of the field, looking for Sion. Low break, Sion lays out and makes the grab. Sion on the left-hand sideline, just about half field, all the way around to Converse, and there's a call. And a upfield foul. Before the throw, we'll have the disc going back to Sion, but Converse still has steps. We'll see if Sion elects to still throw it. He is on the break side right now as the force still appears to be either flick or middle. We haven't seen if Stanford has come out of that handler set yet. And the force is now switched. It's now backhand as Hurts earns the under. Hurts marked by number 15, Lipman, excuse me. Connor Haley throwing the up line to Converse. Still outside the end zone. Need to stay patient here. He's got Wetzel. He looks him off. Inside throw to Bruce, getting a stall count in the center of the field. Bruce out to space. And Ohio making the catch. I believe that was Eric Converse making the grab. It's now 16-16. Ohio with the big hold. And now they will look to try to break Stanford on Universe Point. And the thing that we saw from Stanford last year was their ability to play a very patient style of offense when they needed to. When offenses would turn the disc over, guys like Ryan Thompson would run that offense and punish teams. They would take forever to score. They would take as long as they needed to score that point. Stanford now, with this athletic line, will look probably to do the same thing, but Ohio will have to honor the deep shot as they have guys like Jeffrey, have guys like Assertion and Funk who can make those plays. And they'll be able to move Jeffrey. I wonder if they'll move Jeffrey downfield with Boyd Meredith in the center, but we'll see. This offensive line, I'll read out the numbers as I'm not sure where all these guys will line up. Number 88 with his back turned to us, that's Shane St. We also have number 21, Tyler Boyd Meredith. Number 23, Jordan Jeffrey. Number 44, Kellen Assertion. Number 32, Jordan Marcy. Number 8, Kevin Dade. And number 10, Ben Funk. And they have actually lined up in that order for us from left to right. We welcome you again if you're just joining us. It looks like Central Florida was able to just take down Florida immediately to the left of us in quarterfinals. Central Florida will match up against Tufts in that other semifinal. It looks like it's going to be Pittsburgh and the winner of this one as Wetzel's pull. And the wind starts to, there's a little bit of a breeze rolling as a kind of a crosswind from our left to our right, which will be moving from the backhand side to the forehand side. Shane St. completely unmarked as Wetzel kind of poaches the lane up to Jeffrey on the right-hand sideline. Jeffrey marked by Hurwitz. Here's St. marked by Wetzel. Up to Ben Funk. Sion can't get a lane to lay out there. Funk up to Jeffrey on the left-hand sideline. Assertion clearing out deep, trying to make something happen in the backfield. St. trying to get open on Wetzel. Bailout hook opportunity. He's got Funk wide open. And Stanford winning the game. 17-16 on Universe. A big, big play as Jordan Jeffrey gets a high stall situation, puts that backhand out to space in the break side for Ben Funk. And that's not the first time we've seen Jordan Jeffrey make that throw. A great decision as Stanford holds. And a fantastic game by Ohio, taking the lead, but that's the second time they were able to take a lead with the game coming close to its finish. Unable to finish both times as they get broken. They get broken, and then Stanford holds to win the game. Thank you again for joining us as Stanford wins this game 17-16. They will face Pittsburgh in about a half hour to 45 minutes in one of the semifinals. The other semifinal will be Central Florida versus either Tufts or Illinois. I don't know who won that one. I will be sure to follow up that with a tweet and let you guys know. Thank you for joining us. This has been Zach Smith of Skyd Magazine and Chuck Cleary of Charlie Foxtrot Films. Thank you for joining us for this quarterfinals matchup of Eastern's 2010 here in Wilmington, North Carolina, part of Skyd's 2012 College Tour presented by Spin Ultimate. See you soon.